Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry. We're reaching you from our production center in Douala. Let's begin with our headlines. With less than 48 hours to the official announcement of Cameroon's presidential results, the national atmosphere remains tense, and as the Constitutional Council remains the only legal authority, and nearly a year after the deadly landslide struck Chancliffe, reconstruction remains incomplete. Although the government launched rehabilitation works in 2025, precisely in the month of March, progress has. Youths are making a living in Bonendale, Douala, dominated by swampy terrain, as former employment is very difficult to come by. Top stories. Thanks and welcome to join me. I'm Kejang Henry. At Timbe, we are open to consultation on Canal International on our respective platforms. Now we begin from Yaoundé, where a tension at the nation awaits the official results of the October 12th presidential election. Tension is mounting across the country as unofficial figures circulating widely on social media platform is already brewing uncertainty. So far, what is the public perception to the lead-up of the results day? Our man of the beat, Hyacinth Chia, now went through the streets of Yaoundé to find out.
Speculations continue to flourish as to who will emerge winner of the October 12th presidential election. The anxiety is growing as the date of the proclamation of result draws closer. On the streets of Yaoundé, frequent discussions at every corner on the subject with a serene state of mind.
Nous tous nous sommes calmes. Nous attendons que le meilleur gagne.
Bon, j'attends les résultats dans un bon esprit. Tout ça, on attend les bons résultats dans les bons.
C'est un peu inquiétant, mais on a espoir que tout doit bien se passer. Quelqu'un que le Seigneur aura choisi qui pourra continuer à nous garder.
And as Cameroonians await the verdict from the Constitutional Council, they expect a true picture of what prevailed in the different polling units across the country.
On veut la vérité, rien que la vérité.
We expect the people that they say the good result. We don't want a fake result.
Que les résultats des urnes soient dits. Tout simplement.
And whatever the outcome may be, the greatest wish of the population is for peace.
We want peace. We don't want problem in this country. We want peace. Even if it's the father that is still sitting there, if he sit there, we want peace. We don't want problem. Because if you are on the back like this, we are still struggling to have our own food to feed our own family.
There should be no problem.
The waiting continues as Clement Atangana and the Constitutional Council are expected to publish the result not more than 15 days from the close of the polls as stipulated by the Electoral Code.
Thanks very much, Hyacinth Chia. And with 48 hours to go, 72 hours to go for the official announcement of the result of the October 12th presidential elections, the atmosphere is really tense. And political parties and citizens alike are being urged to prioritize peace over conflict. The call for calm has been growing across the country and louder as the country struggles to navigate through the post-election period. Beatrice Ngamo reports from Yaoundé.
This post-election atmosphere in Cameroon thins as the population awaits the proclamation of the presidential election results.
On peut demander aux uns et aux autres d'avoir des attitudes qui ne poussent pas.
We can ask each and everyone to have attitudes that don't push to conflict. Not only to ask the one who declared a candidate to calm his troop, but that the government on the other side puts in place a process that permits everyone to see what is the true color of truth. For the parties on the list to have peaceful speeches, because it is political political species that build serenity, and it is equally the political species that destroys that serenity. Attitude that is expected after the compilation of votes, publication of ballot results, and electoral petitions, for all to respect the law in place. Focusing on appeasement is to portray the desire to avoid loss of Cameroonians, movement restrictions, destruction of property, and even stop of work.
Sachant que certains vivent au jour le jour, et c'est chaque jour qu'ils vont chercher ce qu'ils vont manger dans la journée.
In politics, there are no enemy but rather adversaries, and fair play is the watchword, meaning that once the competent institution in charge of proclaiming the official results does so, the political actors should be capable of accepting the outcome. Experts we talk to advise the two protagonists in the matter to engage in a frank dialogue, a consensus, as that is democracy.
Donc, il faut que le gouvernement,
the government needs to slow down. Opposition politics do likewise. Opinion leaders calm down. And that everyone should know that in everything, just one will prevail, the interest of our country. Frustrations are normal. That future elections are in view, useful to change the daily life of each and every Cameroonian.
Very much, Beatrice Nkamu. And nearly 1 year after the landslide struck the Chancleve in the west region of the country, construction or reconstruction work is still remains incomplete. Now, although the government actually flagged off rehabilitation works on the cliff in 2025, precisely in the month of March, the inhabitants or denizens are saying that it is painfully slow, especially those who are relying on that road access for trade and other activities. Indeed, Maureen revisits the Chancleve 1 year after.
Frustrated Cameroonians, especially residents and regular users of the Chancleve roads, continue to raise concerns nearly 1 year after the deadly landslide devastated area, causing both human and material losses. Just 19 days shy of the anniversary, the reconstruction process remains incomplete despite government promises and the official launch of rehabilitation work in March 2025. 7 months into the work, the structural integration of the cliff remains largely unrestored. Our wish was to see the road completed quickly, but up to now, although vehicles can pass, the work is still ongoing. I personally visited the site and saw that there is still a huge amount of work left to be done. This is a project that is progressing very, very slowly. If the promises that were made had been respected, the construction would have long been completed. Field reports indicates that the construction company is still focusing on roads, backfill operations, and maintaining the bypass roads, a crucial lifeline amid frequent heavy rainfall in the region. While work has not been halted, the pace remains slow, though the company affirms its commitment to meeting contractual deadlines and complying with standards set by the Ministry of Public Works.
Thanks very much, Maureen D. And over to Douala. In the Douala 4 municipality, particularly in Dobo and in Bonendale, where in fact you have a swampy terrain that is dominating. It is difficult for young people who are turning to physically challenged job or physically demanding job, as formal unemployment or employment rather is difficult to come by. Now, this risky informal sector is just what they can feed their families with. Sheriff Saleh moves down to Dobo and Farsi.
Across some neighborhoods in Douala 4 subdivision, houses are increasingly being built on swampy ground. To make construction possible, builders need large quantities of soil to fill in foundations as well as wooden planks to reinforce the structures.
When we come in the morning, we wait for water to go down. We look for the place that we can find sand for the we are doing filling, so we are looking for sand that he has a little bit of mud on it.
And the carbo is used for building houses or doing zinking.
This demand has created a small but vital informal sector. Men, many of them young and unemployed, have taken to the swamps to dig and transport soil. Some use canoes to move the materials through the waterways to construction sites, often under difficult and dangerous conditions.
The journey is not easy. You need to go into the mud, nothing's there easy.
Though physically demanding and precarious, has become a lifeline for many who have been unable to find stable employment.
The minimum you can bring put food on the table. It's not the written we really want, but as the condition is, that's what we are doing to get our own small money in the pocket.
For now, while hoping that one day the conditions for building and living will be better, this is how building in swampy areas look like.
Thanks very much, Sheriff Asala. We'll stay with you as we remain in Bonandale, where residents, of course, have sounded alarm on the rising pile of uncollected garbage. And so they are saying the risk of public health danger is actually pushing them to call on the powers that be to make sure they clean the streets of the garbage from the streets that is already causing a lot of problems. Sherifa.
A growing pile of uncollected garbage now stands directly in front of the Bonandale District Hospital, sparking outrage among residents who say they have been living in unsanitary conditions for years now. It's been more than 4 years that we have been suffering like this. We will have to beg the government to send us canoe, so we use in circulating here. I'm always moving around with spare dresses, should in case it rains. Sanitation is only one of the challenges faced by people of Bonandale. The roads leading through the neighborhood, which also hosts one of Douala's main slaughterhouses, have fallen into severe disrepair. Potholes, mud, and flooding during the rainy season have made transportation difficult, disrupting local businesses and limiting access to the market and other key services.
Even our customers that they used to come and buy, they feel very difficult to carry their meat. So at times, they don't come there. So you see now that even the meat that you were to sell, you will not be able to sell because they used to come and buy. Before you have that access to work, another one.
Economic operators say the poor road conditions have dealt a heavy blow to economic activity.
No business, not the worker for you. I'm going to see what I na osa. We wait a time where sometime after election, they go sorry we refuse route.
Every day people do for the measure up. They measure and they can't walk.
Residents are now appealing to powers that be for swift intervention to clean up the area and rehabilitate the roads. They say the situation has persisted for too long and that immediate actions is needed to improve living conditions in this vital part of the city.
Thanks, Sherifa. And in Betwa, power outages have gone from occasional inconveniences to a harsh daily reality. And so all homes and businesses are suffering, and residents are being forced to turn to alternatives, some of them with generators, others with solar panels. Yet some go for ice block to make sure they conserve their food. Morindi takes a look at this excruciating and epileptic power shortage.
In Betwa, frequent and prolonged power outages have become a part of daily life. Entire neighborhoods are regularly plunged into darkness as night falls, forcing the population to adapt to a situation that becomes almost normal. Some residents have learned to live with it, but not without frustration. They cut the electricity around midnight or sometimes at 1 a.m. and it only returns around 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. When there is no electricity, everything comes to standstill. During the day, survival is tough for informal workers. Welders, hairdressers and carpenters often sit idle, searching for alternative means to keep their businesses running amid blackouts. We need a plan B, something reliable we can fall back on. When there is no power, I use rechargeable equipment, but when the batteries run out, I switch using my phone battery just to keep serving customers. One woman who runs a bar in Boni says she had no choice but to switch to solar energy, which is now connected directly to Power Meter. It's been the only reliable way to keep our business afloat. It's not easy. We are trying to manage the situation, but now we mostly depend on solar lights. Despite the ongoing crisis, the resilience of Betu's population is striking. People in the East region continue to hold on to hope, clicking to the long-promised dream of Lompanga, bringing lasting electricity, even as the outages persist.
Thanks very much, Maureen Diane. And on to this feature story, 2 Cameroonian drinks, the Follery and the Baobab juice, are actually gaining widespread popularity across the country for their refreshing taste. Now, this affordable drink and in many households have become natural beverages, and so they are making a lot of inroads into the markets and on the streets, as you tell us, Sherifa.
Locally known as Follery, made from hibiscus leaves, is a familiar sight. Known for its tangy, slightly sour flavor, Follery has long been enjoyed as a natural refreshment. Alongside, it is another local favorite, Baobab juice, made from the seeds of the majestic tree that thrives in the country's northern regions. These flowers originated from the northern part of Cameroon and is planted as vegetables, and when it grows they harvest and dry, which gives it this reddish color that you see. It is mostly consumed during dry season. Many people prefer this particularly because it is natural and has no complications. The baobab seed equally originates from the north, but the difference with it is that the baobab comes from a tree. It is equally a healthy natural drink, good for adults and children.
Important pour la santé.
Both drinks are celebrated for their rich natural flavors and nutritional value. Nutritionists say they are packed with essential vitamins and minerals.
These are some of the good effects of BSAP: blood pressure reduction, antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory effects, diuretic actions, and immune system support.
While baobab juice is rich in vitamin C, calcium, and antioxidants, for many consumers, these drinks also offer an affordable alternative to processed or imported fruit juices, whose prices have risen in recent years.
1 litre peut être 300, donc c'est pas coûteux. Je peux boire même 1 litre de Follery par jour. Depuis que je suis né avec, je bois.
As health-conscious trends grow across Africa, Follery and baobab juices are winning hearts, proving that sometimes the best refreshment comes straight from nature.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh, drawing the curtains for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry Atembe. Lee Pijo is yours in a couple of minutes with the debrief, the actuality, and from all of us, it's goodbye.